Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Bandwidth for the new screensavers is provided by CacheFly at CacheFly.com. The new screensavers is brought to you by IT Pro TV. A good IT Pro is always learning, and IT Pro TV is the resource to keep your IT skills up to date with engaging and informative video tutorials. For a free 7-day trial and 30% off the lifetime of your account, go to itpro.tv/NSS and use the code NSS30. And by Warby Parker Eyewear. Get boutique quality, classically crafted eyewear, including sunglasses, at revolutionary prices. For a free home try-on of 5 stylish frames of your choice, plus free 3-day shipping, go to warbyparker.com/NSS.
Save Neil Armstrong Spacesuit. Stop before you sing the happy birthday song. And straight from Good Morning America, Becky Worley is here, live from the Twit Brick House in beautiful downtown Petaluma. It's the new Screensavers.
Episode 15, recorded August 15th, 2015. That's a lot of 15s.
Holy 15.
And here's my favorite 15-year-old, Becky Worley. So nice to see you.
Thanks, friend. We got the Australian introduction. Aussie, 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 oi, oi, oi.
Oi, oi, oi.
Thank you, Chris.
Chris, let's see if you can do it. Chris from Sydney. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie.
Oi, oi, oi.
Yeah!
Yay! Well
And
done.
about 1,000 Australians at the same time. We just didn't hear them because they were so far away. Becky is, of course, an old friend. You know Becky. She was our launch partner for Tech News Today. She's been on our show many times, but maybe you don't know she was the original producer of the old Screensavers.
Right. I jumped in to help when Anna, our great producer, got sick, and it was a pleasure and an honor to be a part of that show.
Yeah. You were great, and she was in my ear during most of Call for Help as well.
That's right, that's right.
Yeah.
I was
the
person behind the curtain.
Leo, shut up.
Your screen just went dark. Move your mouse.
Of course, when she said move your mouse, I thought she said move your mouth.
Move your mouth.
So I was going.
She wants me to articulate.
I do anything you say. You say it in my ear, and I will do it. So welcome to the new screen. We have a great show for you. We're going to talk about Neil Armstrong's spacesuit. It's not in the condition it ought to be. The Smithsonian has a Kickstarter to save it. We'll talk about that. It's going to be a lot of fun with I love this title, Curator of Spacesuits at the Smithsonian Institution.
Who knew?
What a great job that would be. Also, Becky has you brought a box of crap. What is that?
I know. I'm like a cross between Dick DeBartolo and Gallagher. I'm like a prop comedy here.
We're going to give ponchos to all of the people in the studio audience today.
I will not smash the watermelon, but I have been saving the worst product ever sent to me just to show you.
You knew someday we would put you on the screensaver, the new screensavers.
I would say there's going to be a place for this.
This is the worst. There's nothing worse.
The single worst product.
But you also have some good stuff. So
I do have some good stuff.
Nice
Something
mix.
that could save you $700. Easy.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like that. We also will answer your tech questions just a little bit. But before we go much farther, I wanted to bring in our consigliere.
Oh, really?
Denise Howell from This Week in Law. Hi, Denise.
Hi, Leo. Hi, Becky.
Hi, Denise.
Two of my favorite women here, right here. I love working with the both of you. Denise, of course, talks about legal issues all the time. And there's a legal issue I've been following that I wanted to get an update on. And that is the rights to Happy Birthday.
Happy birthday.
So
the song.
The song, Happy Birthday. When you go to a restaurant, often, instead of singing Happy Birthday, they will do something like this.
Hola. It's your birthday. We're here to party and sing to you.
That's not.
It's from me. Hope you are bueno.
That's not The Happy Birthday song, you know, and sing at home.
Right.
And in fact, in movies a lot, they'll sing For He's a Jolly Good Fellow. Denise, what's going on?
What's going on is there is a copyright dispute about the song Happy Birthday. Believe it or not, it might seem like possibly the most public domain thing you could imagine, right? Everyone sings Happy Birthday. It's been around forever. Well, there's a lawsuit pending that is trying to establish that Warner Chappell, which claims it holds the copyright and gets to collect license fees whenever someone...
Not insignificant ones,
Yeah.
like $1,500. If we sang it on this show, it'd cost us more than $1,000.
Oh.
That's right.
If they catch us.
Yes,
So
TV
this is-
and film are really the problem spots. Radio
Right.
stations already pay to be able to play Warner Chappell's catalog.
So your
which
ASCAP
Happy Birthday
BMI
is in.
license counts for Happy Birthday.
Yes.
And do restaurants count in this because it's a profitable enterprise and they're using the song to make profit? Is that the differentiation as to why the copyright is applied in some instances?
Yes, technically, Warner Chappell could go to anyone that they feel is profiting out of using Happy
Wow.
Birthday and demand a license fee, but they do that only selectively.
So
it's
you're
really
sa-
film and TV that are in their crosshairs.
You're safe singing it at home.
Yes, absolutely.
So there, a producer made a film about the Happy Birthday song, which was originally written, I think, by 2 school teachers. They didn't write the music, right?
One of them did.
One of them did.
Well, that's an issue in the lawsuit. The lawsuit is very convoluted. There's a whole historical saga that is playing out in the factual statements of the legal papers. And there are different takes on where the music came from, whether it's in the public domain. I think it's the music itself is, I think, pretty commonly thought to be in the public domain, but it's not a certainty. The plaintiffs in the case claim that the Good Morning to You song that
Good
shares
morning
a
to
melody-
you.
That was
Yes.
the original.
So it was a
That was-
kindergarten song, and then these 2 school teachers wrote the lyrics, but they wrote the lyrics in the 19th century, right?
One of them did, yes. Patty Mills and her sister Mildred in Kentucky were teaching kindergarten. And one of them either composed or arranged all the music for the songs that they put together, and the other one did the lyrics. And the first version of the lyrics they did was Good Morning to You, but eventually they started using other lyrics, and Patty and her students, it's not quite clear whether it was Patty or the students or collaboratively came up with the lyrics to Happy Birthday to You. So they're trying to iron all this out in a lawsuit. And really, I've got to step back and just say, what an amazing thing that this lawsuit is even happening, right? I mean, you talked about, yes, it could be a lot of money if you use the song, but here the documentary filmmaker Jennifer Nelson, who's making the movie about the very interesting story of this song and its copyright, has paid $1,500 to Warner Chappell. That's what she's suing to get back. Also,
how interesting. By the way, they've made a little more than that. Millions a year, it's estimated, right?
Right. Warner Chappell, it's estimated, makes about $2 million a year on the song. They acquired the rights in 1988. And that cost them $25 million. So they've about, if you think they've been earning that much money every year, and who knows, they've about doubled their money.
Wow.
It's not a good song.
But it's...
I like the one you played.
It's tradition.
That one's
and
good.
you kind of want, if you're in a movie, it's like when the movies have the phone number 555 something.
1212.
Yeah, it's like, you know that's a fake number, and it kind of takes you out of the movie. When they sing For He's a Jolly Good Fellow or this mariachi song, it takes you out of the... It's like, you know why. They're cheap.
Right.
So
right.
what? So
it's
she's
become a joke.
Yeah.
So bringing this to the fore was just the documentary, Denise?
Sorry.
Explain this to me. What brought this to the fore was just the documentary?
Well, she's suing him. She wants her money back. The funniest thing is a loophole. The thing that they now, by the way, it's very important. We'll get to this, what the status is right now. But my understanding from reading this is that the loophole is, in the old days, like the 30s, if you publish something without a copyright on it, it put it in the public domain. Nowadays, that's not true. Anything you make is copyright automatically. But in that era, if there were no copyright, it's in the public domain. And Warner Chappell all this time has had a songbook They delivered it in Discovery with a little smudge, but apparently there was a printed songbook, what was it, the 30s, that had no copyright.
1927 was the version that was produced in Discovery. Just I think it was produced June in the case, as the parties were briefing and getting ready to argue summary judgment motions. And the discovery of the 1927 songbook led the plaintiffs to start doing some research, and they found a version from, I think it's 1921 or 1922. I'm getting confused with all the dates here.
Predating the copyright law.
Yeah. Predating the copyright that Warner Chappell claims, which was 1935. And in the earlier version, it was published with a copyright notice that said, by special permission of the rights holder. It did, in other words, it didn't comply with all the notice requirements that you just mentioned that used to, yeah. So if this was published as is, the plaintiffs argue, way back before they sold their copyright to the predecessor of, or they registered the copyright that Warner Chappell now claims, this song would already be in the public domain because they didn't comply with the requirements of the law.
So all those people who've paid $1,500 to use it,
they get their money back?
Could sue and get their money back?
Well, that's what they're suing for. The plaintiffs in this case are very aggressive. They're not, and they've been very successful on some things that really surprise me. They, first of all, the fact that this case exists at all surprises me, right? This is $1,500 that the plaintiffs are suing over personally for themselves. So this is clearly a matter of principle for them.
It's got to cost them a lot more than that to pursue this.
Right. Then they crossed the big hurdle of getting this case designated a class action. So that others who have been in a similar situation.
Here you go. Here's a penny for you. And here's a penny for you. Anybody else singing
Class
happy
action.
birthday? Did you ever pay Warner Chappell? Anybody? I got a quarter here. So it won't be a lot of money, but maybe it'll cost Warner Chappell a lot of money. My question is, have they decided this yet?
They have not. So both parties are moving for summary judgment, which is a way to get the judge to decide the case before it ever goes to a jury. Both parties are asking, you should grant summary judgment, Your Honor, in our favor.
Right.
So this new evidence will come in and be part of the judge's consideration, and the judge is going to have to decide whether there are issues of law that dispose of the case. If so, then maybe the judge can rule and prevent a trial. And if there are issues of fact that support all that are undisputed, because if there's any dispute about a material issue of fact, then it has to go to the jury. We won't find out. We won't have a ruling on at this stage.
Well, there's a reason I asked you. About 4 days ago, a good friend of this show, he'd appeared on the original Screensavers a few times. I've known him well, love him. I think anybody who's in the computer industry knows and loves Steve Wozniak. He passed a milestone birthday, his 65th birthday, and I really wanted to sing happy birthday to you, Woz, dressed in his favorite costume. But since we can't, let's bring in the mariachis and we'll all sing happy birthday to Woz. Denise Howell, thank you so much. This Week in Law, everybody should watch it. And I'm sure we'll have a big announcement at some point. We all have the Screensavers cake. Happy birthday.
Cha-cha-cha.
Cha-cha-cha.
Cha-cha-cha. Does it work? That is just not as commemorative.
I'm sorry, Woz. We were hoping.
He looks disappointed with that
Denise.
song. It is so sad.
Thank you.
Have some cake.
It's
got our name on it. Hey, did you keep my penny? Can I have that
I
back?
have it here.
Thank
I have
you.
it. I have it.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
I
you.
know.
I don't want to lose
got your
that.
back.
I'm keeping track of
I
that.
can't be trusted.
All right. It's time for a call for help. Let's get our first caller on here. Woz. We tried to get Woz. He's traveling right now. We couldn't get him on, but we'll get him on soon.
He sat next to Winter Mitchell on the plane back to L.A.
Yeah, he flew from San Francisco to L.A. Yeah.
Yes, I saw that on the Facebook. Yep.
This close. We were this close.
I know where Woz is at all times.
From Waxahachie. I do too. I follow him. He tweets all the time. Jason from Waxahachie, Texas. Hello, Jason.
Hey, Leo. Hey, Becky.
How Welcome.
Are you?
Hey,
Happy...
Leo loves saying Waxahachie.
It's actually Waxahachie.
See?
You're almost there.
They wrote it down. See, I tell him I never write it in phonetic.
So
happens all the time.
I can almost always get it right. But if you write it in phonetic, I'm going to say it like it is. And what does that say right there, right there?
Waxahachie.
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 Waxahachie. All right,
That's the
Waxahachie.
Japanese
Nice to see you, Jason. What can we do for you?
Well, I have a MacBook and iPhone, and I love how iMessage allows you to sync your SMS messages back and forth. So when I'm on my iPhone, I get my SMS messages, and then when I go to my MacBook, I can also get them there. But I'm looking for a Windows maybe equivalent that will let you use your SMS, phone number from your carrier to do the same thing and sync back and forth. I know you can use, third-party apps and stuff that you use a special phone number from them, but is there anything you can use your own phone number that your carrier gives you to actually sync back and forth on Windows?
Yeah, that's the trick part, is that it would identify as your phone number. There is an email. All the carriers have email gateways. In fact, there's a article here on How To Geek that lists them all for AT&T. It's the person's mobile number at txt.att.net.
It's vText or something like that for Verizon.
Yeah, they're all on here. Unfortunately,
they don't always work. Have you had that problem?
Yeah,
because
it's a funky gateway. I think they probably have a PC in a closet somewhere that they haven't updated in 20 years. I'm gonna send this email, but the problem with that is what will show up as the sending party, I believe, will be your email, not you. Now, if you're in their address book by email, that might be okay. It might still say your name.
And you also have to have a second contact entry for their vText, right? Or their gateway.
Their phone number.
Yeah. So you can't have, you have to decide if you're going to send it to one or the other.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, I think it's just their mobile number. What does Verizon do? It's mobile number at vtext.com. So you just write, 555-1212 at vtext.com. And that's an email address.
You'll have to know their phone number.
You need their phone number. But I agree with you that that's not desirable. And this is something we've been talking a lot about in the last couple of weeks is I wish there were a universal messaging system that we all could use, we could all agree on, so that we wouldn't have to use this really funky SMS system. Yeah. This was never designed to be used as the way people use it today.
It's funny because when you think about what iterations that have come out of all the different Mac OS iterations, I think that this one is one that really makes a difference in your day-to-day. Yeah, messages. Because when they added in that you didn't just have to have an iMessage person, I think it makes a huge difference. And the other thing is, I'm always an IO person, so being able to type, he's giving me the no finger, but I say,
you know why? Because I'm a green bubble. And I don't want to be a green bubble.
You see.
Right? You don't want to be a green bubble either.
Feel slighted.
So Jason, this is the problem. And there's another problem, which is
because you're Samsung right now. What are you doing?
If you're Android, if you're on an iPhone, if you're using Apple's messages, you're right. It can go cross. It can come from SMS. But only people on iOS devices will appear as blue bubbles.
Right.
The rest of us appear as green bubbles. There's also a limitation. You can't do group messaging to green bubbles.
That's right.
So if you're going out to party and you have somebody you work with, the one guy who has an Android phone, he's not going with you. Right? Sure. That's why we all have to use WhatsApp or something, or Facebook Messenger, because there's no way right now to do that. And that's a really good question. Is there a way to have your phone number appear on a text message you send from your desktop? And I don't know of a way to do that. You can send a message from your desktop. It's just email.
You know what the ugliest workaround is? Especially if it's like a long one that you want to type as opposed to inputting via your smartphone. You send yourself an email, and then you cut and paste it into your SMS Messenger. It's so ugly, but it is really kind of pathetically that.
There is this gateway too, in messages.att.net that you can use as an AT&T customer. You'd log in, and then you can send and receive text from your computer. This might, and I haven't tried it, but this might use your phone number as the sending party. That would be really nice.
Okay, there's one thing we haven't even mentioned.
So that's messages.att.
You have to know what carrier they are.
I'm using AT&T.
You have to know what carrier they are.
Yeah, because if they're on Verizon, you have to use at Verizon.
It has nothing to do with your carrier. Yeah. It has to do with you have to know what their carrier is.
I think, okay. So yes, this works. This works. Messages.att. See what it says? You could send and receive messages using your existing mobile phone number even when using your computer. So that is the way to do it. You got to log in to AT&T.net. You'll have to use their website to do this, okay? It's messages.att.net. And I wonder, I bet you others have. Should I send you a text message?
Oh, yeah, let's put my phone number right in.
You don't mind getting a few calls from friends?
Not at all.
All right, well, I won't do
all
it.
you folks watching. I mean,
So how about
call me
that? Have you
home
tried
after.
that, messages.att.net?
No, I didn't know that existed.
I didn't either.
That's okay, but I mean, I'd rather have, an easier route, which I guess
know.
we're just going to wait until
Leo.
somebody
Oh,
comes
we
up
just
with a universal-
solved your problem at that.
Okay, number one, it's Waxahachie, whatever. Number two, subpar answer.
Subpar answer.
But I agree with you.
It helps. It'll work.
There's also programs that you can run on your computer that will send to your phone, and then we'll send it out. Push Bullet, Mighty Text. Have you tried those? I actually use Push Bullet all the time, so it will let you. It's a plug-in for. I use it on Chrome. I think you can use it on other browsers. Mighty Text, same idea. It will let you use your phone, but you have to be near your phone and all of that.
You know, the one thing that I have to say is going to lead to the strength of Facebook Messenger is this.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to know what the person's carrier is. You don't have to know what their number is. If they're running Facebook on their phone, and who isn't, it's going to work. I know.
Just puts us more into Mark Zuckerberg's back pocket.
Hey, well.
Right.
Although I found some pennies there, so
Hey,
that's not so
save
bad.
them for your class action lawsuit there. Happy birthday.
We've been talking a lot about this. In China, they use WeChat to do everything, not just texting. And it's the same thing as WhatsApp or something. It's an app on your phone. They buy train tickets. They can book airline tickets. They could send video. There are WeChat personalities that broadcast over WeChat. I mean, it's kind of a little much, frankly, for one application to do all of that. But it just shows you that if you can get everybody in your group, they call it the network effect, on one thing. I'm lobbying, my new one is Telegraph. Have you ever tried that?
No.
Everybody, if you want to contact me from now on, Telegraph.
Okay. Hey, did you try the Yahoo Live text thing?
That's so weird.
It's so strange, right?
Let's demonstrate what it's like.
Okay, where's my phone? Okay.
Wait a minute.
LOL.
There's no audio. It's video.
But you know what I like?
Wait a minute, you work for Yahoo. Disclaimer.
I do. I work for Yahoo, and I covered this for ABC, and it was interesting because what I found fascinating is the best part was watching someone read your text. That's why it's valuable. All the other pantomiming.
Wait a minute, you send them a video of you reading?
No. So I send a text.
Yeah.
Hit go.
Okay.
It transmits. There's no audio between us. Okay. So I'm watching a screen as I'm typing of Leo's face. Now I see his reaction, which, he's a little over the top, but...
Or it could be.
Aw.
But you don't hear it. You just see it.
But you know what's funny is there is a genuine moment when someone
So it works.
reads a text.
Yeah.
I haven't wanted to go back to it, but then again, I'm over 14.
I'm going to send... Okay, I'm getting this one now. Live
It's interesting.
text.
I mean, that was
Just
the only
came
thing
out.
that I found interesting about it and using it for the story is that watching the reaction of the people reading the
So
text
funny.
was, I think I could see the teen set being into that.
Well, we've given you some solutions, okay? There's a couple of ways to do it. Just get all your friends on Facebook Messenger, and there goes the problem.
Unfortunately. And they're
Hey-
already on it anyways.
Hey, great
We're
to
all
talk to you,
hacks.
Jason. We're all hacks. They're all hacks. What is in your cabinet here? It looks like watercolor paintings. What is that?
Oh, that's my wife's knickknacks.
Knickknacks.
Oh, gotta have knickknacks.
Patty whack, give a dog a bone.
There's a
Thank
Hummel
you.
in there. Thank you.
There's a Hummel in there. I think that's going to be the name of my autobiography. There's a Hummel in there. If you want to send us a question and get an okay answer, here's how.
Need tech help? The new screensavers are here with answers. Email your tech questions to newscreensavers@twit.tv.
Neil Armstrong's spacesuit in a climate-controlled room where no one can see it right now. Wouldn't you love to be able to go to the Smithsonian's Air and Space Museum and actually look at it? Well, there's a plan afoot, and we're going to talk about that in just a second. Before we do, though, I want to talk about IT Pro TV. Tim Broom and Don Pezzett are great guys. They've come up here. they've told me that they actually saw a presentation I did at NAB some years ago, and it inspired them. See, these two guys, they were IT trainers. That's what they did for a living. They help people get their A+ or their MCSA certs so they can get better jobs in IT, or maybe just be better at their job in IT. And they saw what we were doing here at TWiT, and they said, you know, we could do that for IT training. In fact, they've surpassed us. They now have 2 studios. They do 50 hours of new programming every week. And every bit of programming they do has a live chat room. If you watch it, it looks very much like what we're doing. Then they save it so you can go back and look at their course library. And it's such great stuff. I don't think they're live right now. They're Monday through Friday. They start about 9:30 in the morning on every weekday. Hey, there he is. That's Don, or is that Tim? I can never remember. I think that's Don Pezzett. And it looks like he's showing us how to use the new Yahoo Live text messaging system.
He's not.
No, he's not. They're actually talking about things like Microsoft Exchange Server 2013.
I'm not on commission.
They're doing the CompTIA A+ cert right now. In fact, if you can watch this free if you watch the live stream with a basic account every Monday through Friday starting at 9:30 a.m. But you're going to want to pay because you get hundreds of hours of content, low flat monthly fee. The library is getting bigger. They have an iOS app. They have a new Roku app, so that means you can watch on the big screen. And then when you have to go to work, you get in the bus, get in the cab, and you start watching on the iOS. It picks up right where you left off. With the subscription, you get the Measure Up practice exams, so you can practice before you take the real thing. That's worth $79. I can go on and on. We've talked about it before. You know about it. Now I want you to try it. 7 days free and 30% off for the life of your account if you go to itpro.tv/NSS and use the code NSS30. NSS30. You're going to get 7 days free and 30% off forever. Brand new series of free videos on their blog covering the new features of Windows 10 from an IT perspective. itpro.tv/blog to see that. And to sign up again, itpro.tv/NSS. Use the code NSS30 to try it free for 7 days and 30% off forever. We're going to take a look at Neil Armstrong's spacesuit in a bit, but first, a word from Frederick Van Johnson.
Hi, I'm Frederick Van Johnson. I'm the host of This Week in Photo. You can find me at thisweekinphoto.com. This tip is for those folks out there that have kids or take pictures of kids. And the tip is, you know, it seems kind of obvious, but get down on the same level, the same eye level with the subject. Whether it's a kid, this works for pets too. Get down low, and it will make your pictures much better because you're seeing it from their point of view. And that's my tip.
I love Fred Van Johnson. He's going to come back and do more photo stuff with us. He's so great. So earlier this week, I got a chance to sit down and talk with the director, the curator of Spacesuits, Kathleen Lewis. She's actually, her full title, Curator of International Space Programs and Spacesuits at the Smithsonian Institution's National Air and Space Museum. And we got to talk a little bit about what they've been doing about getting Neil Armstrong's spacesuit out so that you can see it. Take a look. Joining us right now, Dr. Kathleen Lewis, who has the best title in the world. She's Curator of Spacesuits at the, well, a little more than that, Curator of International Space Programs and Spacesuits at the Smithsonian Institution's National Air and Space Museum. Dr. Lewis, thanks for joining us on the new Screensaver. It's great to meet you.
Oh, thanks for having me.
You have such a good job.
Yes, I do. Thank you.
How does one get that job?
Oh, no, I'm not planning to go anywhere anytime.
Oh, I don't mean to take yours. What was your training in aerospace, in spacesuits, in...
My training is in history. In Russian history.
Russian history.
Yes, and that's how I came along to the Smithsonian, to the Air and Space Museum, and I expanded and have gone on to include spacesuits.
We're so grateful for the Smithsonian. It's such a treasure, a national treasure to have. And the Air and Space Museum, for anybody who watches our shows, you know, because we're all geeks, is geek heaven. I mean, it is amazing. So,
well, one geek heaven to another. Thank you.
So how did you come by Neil Armstrong's Apollo 11 spacesuit?
The Apollo 11 spacesuit, along with Neil Armstrong's, Buzz Aldrin's, and Michael Collins, were transferred to the museum, the Air and Space Museum, in 1972 And they came from NASA after NASA was finished with the mission, with testing them, and then with their nationwide tour of the spacecraft, the Columbia spacecraft, and the spacesuits. They transferred them to the museum for keeping, into our permanent collection.
And what kind of condition were they in when you got them?
Actually, in very wonderful condition. NASA thought well ahead. Within 2 months of the time that they brought the astronauts back to Earth, they were looking for ways to preserve the spacesuits. And in fact, they consulted with Smithsonian conservators at the time to figure out what was the best way to clean and preserve the spacesuits. And they agreed upon using a dry cleaner. So these suits were, in fact, dry cleaned before they came to the Smithsonian. That was really the best practices of conservation of textiles at the time.
Sure.
So they didn't remove any of the lunar dust through the dry cleaning process, but they just wanted to get all of anything that had happened to the suits after the moon landing, all of those marks removed. And so dry cleaning was the process. So they came to us with lunar dust intact and dry cleaned of any sort of fingerprints removed, and we've had them ever since.
When you say textile, it's kind of surprising. You don't think of a spacesuit as made of fabric.
It is. The spacesuit technically is a soft spacesuit. And that means that it's made of textiles and soft materials. And it only becomes rigid when it is pressurized in a vacuum. So it is a soft spacesuit. And it's made of layers, of 21 layers of materials, of 12 different types of materials that are in the suit, and they protect the astronaut against holding the air inside, protecting them against the thermal and solar visible light and UV radiation that the astronauts are subjected to, and it also protects them against the particles. I mean, we've been watching the Perseid meteor showers recently. Well, there are all sorts of particles up there in space traveling at the same speed as a spacecraft at about 17,500 miles an hour. And those spacesuits were designed to protect the astronauts against them as well.
It's a pretty harsh environment up there. And yet they have to be able to move around. It can't be armor.
Yes, it can't be armor. They have to be able to move around, and they also have to be able to take the suits on or off inside that confined space that is a spacecraft.
Right.
So they designed the suit to fit the spacecraft. It actually had to perform in 3 realms. It had to perform inside the Columbia, the command module, inside the lunar module, the Eagle that Armstrong and Aldrin took down to the moon, and also perform as an autonomous spacecraft on the surface of the moon when they put on their backpacks.
That's a great way to put it. They're in their own autonomous spacecraft, aka a spacesuit. Yeah.
Fitting spacecraft is what it's an external extravehicular mobility unit is the formal title of the spacesuit.
I think I remember Walter Cronkite saying that. Extravehicular mobility unit.
Yes.
You did actually, you're still doing it. It ends on Wednesday, the 19th of August, a Kickstarter project to restore Neil's suit. And I'm proud to say that Kickstarter users have responded well to this. You've already exceeded your $500,000 goal.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, over the last I looked, I think it's almost 8,300 people have backed this, and that is wonderful for us to know.
Well, who wouldn't? I mean, you can't get much more of a historical artifact. We're very fortunate. I mean, it is our recent history, but we're very fortunate to have it. And I think it's so inspiring to see something that walked on the moon.
Well, it's a recent history, but fortunately or unfortunately, most of our museum visitors are too young to have remembered Neil Armstrong's first step on the moon. Their median age is 39 years old, and that happened 46 years ago. So, and we are also confronting a problem that we've discovered with the spacesuit in the preservation. The suit, as I said, is made of multiple layers, and these are largely synthetics, plastics.
Yeah.
They have a half-life of 50 years.
Oh.
So they're deteriorating on their own, and we're looking for ways to both preserve the spacesuit and to have it on display. So our mantra is preserve, digitize, and display for this Kickstarter project.
So tell me about that. So preserve. Let's start with preserve. What are you going to immerse it in a liquid? How are you going to keep it from degrading?
Well, that is a very difficult thing. We know enough about the materials to know how to preserve individual layers. Our problem is that we have to preserve the suit as a whole. We can't take it apart into its constituent components. So we have discovered, I've worked with my colleague, Lisa Young, who's our objects conservator, and she has determined that keeping it at a mildly cool temperature, about 60, 65 degrees Fahrenheit, about 15, 17 degrees Celsius, and at a low relative humidity at 30%, that is the optimum condition that'll keep the suits stable and prevent the greatest extent of deterioration. We're also working at a way to find a way to exhibit the suit in those storage conditions that we have prescribed. So part of our project is to develop a case that will have its own climate system and will be able to keep the suit under those climate conditions. In addition, we're going to do research and find a chemical scavenger system, sort of like what the role a desiccant plays in a pill bottle. This will be a chemical scavenger that will remove some of the molecules that are off-gas as part of the deterioration of the materials. And that'll have a constant air circulating through it and taking out these harmful molecules. So the suit will be preserved as it is being displayed. We are going to be documenting everything on the suit with technology that wasn't really available to us about as recently as 10 years ago. So we'll be photographing it. We'll be looking at it under a high-resolution microscope. We'll be digitizing it. We have a team here at the Smithsonian that has been working on the 3D scanning and digitization of our collections. So we're doing that all together. We're bringing to in effect, all of the resources that we have here at the Smithsonian and all over the world, and advice from experts in both spacesuits and materials science to come and to give us advice, because this is Neil Armstrong's spacesuit. We only have one chance to do it, and we have to do it right.
You're preserving it like the Declaration of Independence. You know, you have to.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And if you look at the time and effort that went into designing that case, and the constant reconsiderations and redesigns that come up when they make new discoveries and the technology improves. We're going through the same process.
I love the idea of the 3D scan, because then I presume you're going to put that online and students and lovers of space and history can see it themselves online.
Everything we do is part of in the public domain, and yes, those scans will ultimately be made public for everyone to use and to learn from as well.
Although you're going to want to go and see the Destination Moon exhibit. That sounds pretty exciting. Tell me about that.
We're planning to exhibit Neil Armstrong's suit in July 2019, which is the 50th anniversary. And the following year, we're going to be opening a new gallery called Destination Moon, which will replace our current Apollo to the Moon gallery, which opened way back in 1976. Wow. The Destination Moon Gallery will look at humankind's fascination with the moon from ancient times through to what will be then the present in 2020. We have a section of the gallery that we have not yet written and we won't write for another couple of years. But it will, of course, the centerpiece of the gallery will be the Apollo program and man landing on the moon. The Apollo 11 command module will be in the center, as well as Neil Armstrong's spacesuit. And we hope that we will be able to convey the excitement of that era to all those people who weren't born, who come through our doors and don't remember, sitting up in front of their parents' black and white TVs back in 1969. Oh, yes, I do.
I'll never forget. Oh man, it's like Magellan. I mean, this is one of the these three were the great explorers of our time, and making such a huge difference in human history. Are there other suits that you'd like to preserve?
Yes. where the next suit on our list, and this is our stretch goal as part of this Kickstarter, is Alan Shepard's Freedom 7 Mercury spacesuit. And we're often asked, why Alan Shepard's suit? Well, these are really the alpha and omega for the Apollo program. It was based on Alan Shepard's 15-minute suborbital flight that President Kennedy went before Congress and declared that he wanted to send humans to the moon and bring them back. So Alan Shepard flew on May 5th, and 20 days later, Kennedy was making the argument to send humans, but men it was going to be, to the moon by the end of the decade. So we have Alan Shepard's suit, which is very different. It shows the state of the technology for spacesuits back in 1961 and how far the leaps that they made from a modified flight suit for Navy pilots to a form-fitting spacecraft that men would use to walk on the surface of another world.
Yeah, I remember Shepard's spacesuit did look a lot like a flight suit with a helmet attached.
It was based on a Navy Mark IV flight suit. Of course, it looks a lot different. It had a silver a silvery metallicized finishing glued to its surface, but it was basically a flight suit that was adapted to the spacecraft.
Dr. Lewis, thank you so much for spending some time with us. Thanks to all the donors who have already put you over your $500,000 goal on Kickstarter. There is still time to get that stretch goal, that final stretch goal at $700,000. Let's all kick in. The Kickstarter project ends August 19th. Just go to Kickstarter.com and search for Neil Armstrong or Spacesuit. I don't think there are any other spacesuit projects on Kickstarter right now. Dr. Kathleen Lewis is Curator of International Space Programs and Spacesuits. Best title ever at the Smithsonian Institution's National Air and Space Museum. I'll see you in 2020.
Yes, I
can't wait. We're going to do a show from there. I can't wait. Thank you, Dr. Lewis.
Thanks.
She was great. Have you ever been to the new Air and Space?
No, I have not.
It's been open about 12 years. It's out by the airport. It's out by Dulles, not downtown D.C. And it's a giant hangar because they've got shuttles in there. They've got everything in there. You got to go.
Well, I'll take the kids. They'll love that.
Yeah. You don't remember the landing, probably. You're way too young for that.
That was a little bit me, but yeah.
Just up for your time. They have 3 days to go, by the way. If you want to contribute, they're close. Only $6,000 off their stretch goal to get the Mercury suit reconditioned. I asked her, why do you go to a crowdsource? She says the government doesn't cover this.
Well, I was just going to say it's pretty exciting because next week we're going to do an interview with the folks from the Vatican who are doing a Kickstarter to redo the Sistine Chapel. And then,
you're lying.
And well, then Greece with the financial troubles
the Acropolis,
they're going to do a Kickstarter
down.
to get that. What is wrong with us?
No,
why can we not?
The reason is the Smithsonian is paid the budget, about 60% of the budget comes from the federal budget. And that's to keep the buildings going and that kind of thing. They do fundraisers all the time as most museums do, for special projects. This is the first time they've ever opened it to the public. Instead of having, a ritzy event with poo-poos and champagne, we're all part of this. And I think I like the idea that we could participate in this.
I like that you're coming into speaking pidgin. You've got your Hawaiian vibe on because I'm here. Yes, the shirt. Little Easter egg for you, gang. Did you notice?
It's a little Easter egg. Coming up, Beppy.
Beppy
that was your Hawaiian name, right?
Hey, Beppy
got an app to improve your feng shui. But first, here's Robert Heron to give you an answer for those of you looking for a universal remote control.
Hi, my name is Robert Heron. I'm a home theater expert, and you can follow me at Robert Heron on Twitter. Now, I'm telling you, if you have satellite or cable TV and you're using that remote that came with the box, listen up. You can simplify the use of your whole home theater system, whether it's just the TV or just maybe an AV receiver or something like that. These remotes are generally programmable. Go look it up on the manufacturer's website or your provider's website, and they'll provide specific instructions for allowing you to use that same remote, your cable or satellite remote, in order to then, say, turn the TV's power on and off automatically, so you're not having to reach for the separate TV remote to do that same function. Likewise for volume control, if you're using the TV's speakers or if you're using something like the AV receiver speakers, maybe you've got a nice home theater setup. Again, you can configure that remote to actually control that separate device, so you're not grabbing more than one remote to enjoy the content. the way you want with the gear you own. So remember, grab that remote from your cable or satellite provider, go check out their website, and get it programmed once, and you never have to mess with it again, and it'll make your life a lot less complicated.
All right, so thank you, Robert Heron. It's great to see him again.
I'm looking at me and looking at you.
Oh, we're doing the live text thing. So that's Becky, and I'm going to send you a text, and then I will see your reaction. Okay.
Wrong. Well,
so and then you show your camera because you're seeing me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See? Look, so I just sent you a text.
Okay. Easter egg. Oh my God! Look at that. So that's the idea, is that even though we can't hear each other, we're texting each other, and then we're seeing our faces while we're texting. This is the new Yahoo Live text. It's interesting.
I think for teens, obviously, why wouldn't you just call? Wouldn't you just call each other? Because you're an awkward teen. Yeah,
or you're in class and you can't speak, you can't make a sound.
Or on the bus, or someplace where it's weird to have a conversation, and I don't know.
So, you know what I love about technology and apps in particular is you can try stuff.
Right, whatever.
I mean, it's just, try stuff and see what happens. I didn't really poop in my shorts.
Good, but you did change your shirt.
I did.
But you didn't change your shorts. Okay, good to know.
Becky came with a giant box of... She came with her wife and 2 kids, but she also came with a big box of stuff.
They're over there.
Hey, guys, you were telling me that Emmy and Finn have never seen you do TV.
No, only when shooters or photographers come to the house.
Never been in a studio with you.
Yeah, so
is it a little weird to see this? Yeah, Emmy says yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, does Emmy have an Emmy?
She does not have an Emmy
She will.
yet. She will someday.
She will, I could tell.
Okay.
She says, me?
Me? No.
All right, what's in this box of crap here?
So what I have here is the worst product I've ever been sent. Ever.
Now, this is kind of amazing. You review this stuff for Good Morning America, which means you probably get every crazy product ever.
The UPS man cannot figure out what is happening at our house. This
looks like a remote control
compass. Okay?
Fortune compass.
What this is I've got your birthday in here.
Okay.
And it's now going to help us figure out which areas in this room are good feng shui for you. And I just want you to know that your KUA number is 7. I have no idea what that means.
My KUA number is 7.
Okay, good to know.
That's a good number. That's lucky.
Okay, now northwest.
Northwest.
For you is success.
That's good.
Now,
if I faced northwest, then I would be successful?
Yes, but if you face due north, you will experience frustration.
So be very careful.
Yes, so let's just do this in real time now, because I can point it in the ways that'll show you.
Oh, look at that.
All right, okay, we're going to do this as your chair moves. I'm going to tell you what's going on.
Okay, I'm moving.
Okay, all right.
How am
frustration.
I doing?
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, I feel very frustrated
now
right
let me come over to where you are now.
Yeah.
Oh, success! Success!
Yeah.
Success!
Yes.
Okay, try putting your back to us, just because we want to check out. Okay?
How does that do?
Let's see. What are you experiencing here? Oh, relationships.
I just pooped in my shorts.
Now, so you...
That's because my wife's over there.
Aw, see?
Shouldn't turn your back on your wife.
She likes the back of you. Your relationship is best when you turn their back to her.
Can we do it on her?
We will eventually.
Oh, okay.
It's a party game. I mean, I got to enter her birthday, and
How much is that?
The good news is this has gone out of business. But, but guess what? Now they have an app.
It's the Fortune Compass, because an app would do the same
You can do the same thing. Now, mindful that my children are in the room, what do you think this is?
It says the Foreo.
Okay.
I'm going to turn it on. And, of course, I've seen these many times in magazines.
Oh, yes.
It's a forehead massager.
Oh, yeah. It's putting on quite a... This is the tooth version. Because we need this. I have no idea why, but apparently...
No, this is good for your gums.
I guess, but I mean... Do we really
Come
need
on,
to disrupt?
Becky.
Do we really need to disrupt our tooth cleansing? Come on.
Does it say what it's for?
Now this one I haven't tested.
Oh, it's from Sweden. Now I understand.
Please.
It's from Sweden.
Sweden.
You know the Swedes make great stuff.
Swedes. This one I have not tried yet, but this is the food sniffer. This is the food sniffer. Okay, now the idea with the food sniffer is that let's say you have raw meat that you're questioning.
I don't know.
Whether it's past its prime.
What I usually do is give it to Lisa and say, does this smell bad to you?
Does it smell bad, right?
Yeah.
Now, you don't have to rely on another human. We're going to disrupt rotten food. And so what we've got here is you put your raw meat in a bowl, you cover it for 3 minutes, and then you jam this thing underneath.
Because you got to let the
cover.
gases come out of the raw meat.
And then you hit the button,
and it'll tell you if it's
good or bad.
Should we eat Becky's hand?
I don't know. Oh,
wow.
Yes, it's going to save you from that. Yes.
She looks like she's never eaten bad meat.
What?
Never,
ever.
Do you think this works? Did you bring any bad meat?
I don't know. You're the one who's barbecuing later. We'll find out.
Wait a minute. This is a USB port. That's
telling
not a
you.
sniffer. That's a USB port on that end. That's the sniffer charger.
Well, that's the...
Where's this? Where's here? Put this end in.
This part you put in.
That's the end you put in.
That's the sniffer, right?
Oh, it smells bad.
Okay, now a couple of fun
the
things.
sniffer is bad meat.
This one's, I don't know, I'm on the fence about this, but this one kind of cracks me up. This is the stick bot. And what makes me laugh about this just showed up at the house yesterday. It's one of the first ever social media toys.
Well, wait, it's a tripod that you would put your camera on.
Right.
And a couple of little robotic things.
StickBot is totally on trend and different from other toys because it teaches children how to use social media.
Oh, no!
Like
Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
What age?
YouTube or Vimeo.
I mean, this is for kids. My kids are interested in this and they're 7. And I'm thinking, do we really need to encourage them to use social media?
You
with
create,
their friends?
you animate, you share.
I don't know. This
for
is
ages 4 and up.
Oh yeah, you got to start them at 4 with their Instagram account.
You create. Wow.
I mean, these are the things that come to the house that I just have to look at and say to myself,
look, there they are.
Why? I mean, it's not the worst toy. Don't get me wrong, but the intent is like, you know, we're sitting around parents. Gosh, I wish the kids would use social media more.
In just a few years, it'll be nude selfies.
If only there were a toy that could help them.
How much is? You don't know what the price is because they don't tell you.
I don't know what the price is, but I just thought that
Look at that. Look at that. Well, you know what it is? It's a stop action.
That's not that much. It's $9.99. I mean, it's not that much money.
Fine.
It just is this a problem we needed solved?
He looks like he needs something. I don't know, maybe a sedative. Okay, StickBot Studio.
StickBot gone. Now this one. I'm sure you've used these or seen these many times, but this is going to change my life as someone who makes video.
It's the Smart Lav Plus.
You just plug this thing into your iPod. I mean, sorry, your iPhone.
Oh, it's a microphone for your iPhone.
It's a lav for your iPhone.
Oh, that's great. A lavalier mic is what that is.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
So if you're, remember that time I was live streaming with you from that Apple event?
Yes.
And I had that
crazy... And Steve Jobs was there, and you said, Steve.
I had that crazy, like, hello, this is Operator 27, may I help you? I had that headset on, and he came over to me, but instead, I could have had the
And he still would have ignored
Plus.
you, but you would have looked more professional.
Yes.
So that's interesting. Now, is it digital? It says broadcast quality audio, but it looks like it's analog. It plugs into the microphone port on your phone, which is not as ideal as a digital, but then it would have to be lightning and all of that stuff.
Well, see, it goes right into your phone.
Hey, it's made in Australia.
So where else could they put it in if it was coming from your phone? I guess they could go in through Bluetooth.
Chris, it's like you. It's made in Australia.
Australia. Has the wallaby on it. So the thing that was really interesting for me the other day is I had to go guerrilla shoot in a store for a piece that I was doing where they wouldn't give me permission to shoot. So
you do that? The ABC lawyers let you do that?
Well, because it's consumer, like we were doing.
You're a consumer reporter. You're investigating.
I was investigating.
You have like lipstick cameras in your clipboard.
Right. We used to use all those really expensive ones. But what I did is I put this into my phone.
Yeah.
And then I had someone come with their phone.
You didn't notice that you had a microphone on?
Nobody ever notices.
Lady, you got a microphone on.
You got a fuzzy thing on. Thank you for taking the tight shot at his chest and not mine, gentlemen.
They are gentlemen, aren't they? Yes.
My children are here.
So you went in there, you had but did you shoot video with your phone?
So get this. So I put my phone in my pocket and I just recorded audio into voice memo, okay?
Smart.
Someone else was recording on their iPhone.
Yeah.
We did a sync clap. We took the audio file and the video file into the edit room and married them. It looked broadcast quality.
And that's just how easy it is to be a network reporter, ladies and gentlemen.
I mean, it was kind of mind-boggling that, because it's always been the sound that's held me back from doing that.
This is good enough that you can use it.
It
says that. It says
the
broadcast
sound was
quality.
outstanding. So, kind of interesting. $99, so that's one
good
little toy.
Good enough for ABC, folks.
I mean, come on. Do I have any other goodies I wanted to show you? Well, I got one more thing.
What was the bit, by the way, on, like, are we going to see this on Good Morning America?
Oh, it aired already.
It's from Rode. Rode makes great stuff.
Oh, yeah.
These guys make great podcast microphones. Yeah, I like Rode.
One other thing that I brought in that I wanted to talk a little bit about, I went to The Verge, and I was checking out their back-to-school guide.
Yeah.
I didn't quite agree with it.
What did they say?
Everything was so expensive.
Yeah.
Everything they had on there was double the price you could get it for if you were trying to be reasonable.
But see, you're a consumer reporter.
Right.
You understand that.
Right. And it bugged me because I think when people go back to school, what they care is about price point a lot of times.
Right.
Not just like, let me buy, the sky's the limit. So this I think is interesting. This is something new in the back to school space. This is from Epson, and they have a new printer that you do not have to refill inkjet cartridges for 2 years. Okay.
I read about this. It's already out. By the way, we should mention Epson is a sponsor, so
Yeah.
but you didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
I read
picked
about this, and this is amazing because Epson, like many other printer companies for a long time, sold the printers so cheaply, and they made it up on the ink.
Right.
But they ain't going to do that this time.
No. So here's the money here. Okay. If you buy this for $380, it comes with all this ink, and you will not replace ink for 2 years, right? So if you were to get a regular printer and buy the inkjet cartridges, it would cost you about $850. We're talking about $380 for this plus the printer, or a cheap printer plus cartridges that would cost you about $830.
Whoa.
So it's a big difference. And then when you go into
They're giving up a lot of profit.
That's what's really amazing is they just have said, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. And then
How much? The printer is how much?
$380, including
Okay.
2 years ink supply.
Wow, see, that's half the cost. That's
Right.
amazing.
And then imagine if you have to buy refills, then you go into like, what is it, 60, 70 bucks for this, as opposed to you're paying another $800
Everybody
on
should
cartridges.
do this. And you know what? Epson's smart because what'll happen is all the other companies now look like they're ripping you off, and everybody will buy an Epson. I mean, everybody's going to have to do this, right? In response.
It's really interesting because it just takes one person to stop the collusion. And I
Right.
think that was what this really
Right on.
becomes, kind of everybody buying into the razor and razor blade market.
What's funny is there was always an aftermarket add-on for Epson photographic printers that would allow you to print lots of photographs. And it was just like that. It was a big reservoir. It was elaborate. It was kind of ugly. It was a messy setup. They obviously were inspired by that because you can see off the right-hand side of the printer, there's got a reservoir tank
I don't know how this
area.
opens, but yeah.
That's great. I mean, and we love Epson printers, so that's a very nice thing.
I'm going to give it a run. I just got this yesterday. That's why I don't have it set up, but I'm going to give it a run.
Well, come back in
see.
2 years and tell us.
I'm going to
will
let you know.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
All right?
What is that?
Well, I don't know. Does your back still hurt you when you do your show? You know, you used
My
to have...
back never hurt
Well,
me.
then why'd you have the ball that you were always sitting
Oh, I
on
just like to bounce.
Oh, I thought you had back pain because...
Is this for lumbar support?
So I did this story on posture. So you have two options. You can wear this.
I'll wear that.
Yeah, it zips
That's
up the front.
attractive.
It's a man bra, but it's actually...
That's for men?
It's a lady bra.
Oh, okay.
But there are posture
It looks
bras
like a sport bra.
and posture shirts, which remind you to have good
they
posture.
force you to sit up.
Right?
Yeah.
Or, this is kind of an interesting concept. I'm going to stand up here, guys.
Okay.
Don't you worry about this. I won't attack Leo. The idea with posture is, now sit back.
Yeah. Oh, it forces me forward a little
Right. So the idea, this is from this woman called Esther Gokhale, who's like the Silicon Valley posture guru.
bit. You always wanted us to do ergonomic segments on this show.
I should have been
I hate
shot.
ergonomic
It's such bad
segments.
TV. Leo, 25 million Americans
I
suffer
know,
from back
I
pain.
know.
But the whole problem is, this is so interesting, is we think of, get the side shot here if you guys can. We think of sitting in a chair as tucking our bums underneath us
and
like
pushing
this,
your
right?
shoulders back.
And then your back kind
That's
of
bad.
makes a
That's
C-curve,
slumping.
right?
Yeah, and that is actually why I sit on a ball, is to force you to sit upright.
That's right. And what
Yeah.
she says is get your behind and
Yeah.
sit like a J. So
Sit
it goes
like a J?
down
Is
and
that
then a J.
Jerk?
No.
Jewel?
Yes, your jewel is, you're sitting on your jewel. And so you get your spine straight, your behind, and that little pillow or rolled up towel behind
I like
your
this.
behind
So
here
what we
forces
usually
your
do
back
is we
forward.
put it under our lumbar
Yes.
region, and that actually is not what you want to do.
No, that creates
You want to sit
too much-
forward a little bit, not inch out.
Yeah, Gokhale method. If you ever, for those of you that are interested in sit a lot, go check it out. Gokhale method.
I have
Way to go.
a back-to-school item, too.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I just realized I had them bring it out to me because I spent, this was not cheap, 99 bucks. It was a big Kickstarter project. And I think, what is it that kids want to do when they're in school, especially when you're in the library?
Oh, God.
You'd like to...
Is this some Star Wars?
You'd like to nap
What?
more. So this is a special napping device. It lets you sleep on your face. It's What are you laughing at?
Why?
It's extremely comfortable. No,
How is that
it's
possibly comfortable? Why do you need to put your hands through
Wait,
there? Are they
you try it. You got.
leaked.
We got a little leak. I'm sorry. There's a little leak. The
leak?
balls are coming out. But
There's balls?
yeah, there's little, well, it's microfiber balls.
Now, do I put my arms?
No. Just put it over your head first.
Oh, head first. Okay,
head first.
all right, okay.
Because there's a face hole.
Okay.
Okay, there you go.
Okay.
I think you should try this on Good Morning America.
Okay.
They've come out since then with a, there you go. Now, put your face on the table, just like a student, and then you put your arms in the holes, and you see how comfortable that is?
You know what?
Night-night, Becky.
You're right. That is really nuts.
You remember our earthquake guy, Julian Lozos? He's back. He's going to help you track earthquakes through the Quake Catcher Network. You've never looked better, Becky.
I'm feeling it. I wouldn't have to put on makeup at all if I did TV this way. I am not an animal.
Hi, my name is Julian Lozos. I am at Seismogenic on Twitter, and this is my tip for helping track earthquakes from your home. So the very same sensors in your laptop that keeps it from breaking when you drop it are the same kinds of accelerometers that can be used to track earthquakes' ground motion. And so there are some folks at Caltech and USGS and Stanford that have developed a technology to use your computer to help track earthquakes. It's called the Quake Catcher Network, and you can download it on your laptop, or if you want a small USB accelerometer, you can go to the site and order it. And your data can help us track the details of what shook how hard in which earthquakes, and also just help us better locate some earthquakes, because more data is always a good thing. So again, that's the Quake Catcher Network. Totally worth it. Even if you just want to geek out, you're helping with data too.
Thank you, Julian. Julian Lozos is a doctorate student at the U.S. Geological Survey and actually helps, I'm sure, generate some of that data that you're seeing on the Quake Center. Are you ready?
I am ready.
It is time for another Call for Help. It's Bill from New Mexico. Bill?
I've just upgraded all kinds of stuff, and what I'm trying to do is get a Samsung Galaxy Note Pro 12.2 to a remote software that'll let me operate my 8-year-old Dell laptop that just upgraded to Windows 10. I want to operate it remote. I want to share files. I want to do all the normal stuff, and I can't think of a better team to answer that question.
So we figured this out. We actually figured it out. I thought I knew the answer to this. If you have Windows 10 Professional, it's easy because they have a remote desktop solution. There's an Android app. Both are free, but you have to have Windows 10 Professional. I don't, as it turns out. I thought, oh, this will be easy, and then I started playing with it, and I realized, oh, I don't have Windows 10 Professional. So there are other ways to do it. Log Me In has been around for a long time. We've talked about that a lot. A lot of our chat room uses TeamViewer, and somebody in the chat room suggested this. This is called Splashtop. There is a free Android app, and the personal version of Splashtop is free, so you can download it and install it, as I have done here on my computer, and then you log in to the Splashtop desktop, as I have done here on my computer, and instantly, because we're on the same Wi-Fi network, and by the way, this is going to work better with high-speed internet. This is not going to be a great experience for you on something slower. But notice, immediately I see my Dell laptop, and I can either use it as a remote camera, which is kind of an intriguing use, or a remote desktop. And yes, they're offering me something for free.
Amazing. They want
let's see, maybe I go here. Yes, no, oh man, I just want to do it for free.
You did it before.
I know, I guess you get one time, first time's free, baby. And now they want money.
Now they want your money. You know, while you play with this, I just want to add one other thought, which is my parents are RDP-aholics. They are always tunneling into their office computers to the point where they don't even know if they're on the computer that's local or the computer that's remote.
And how do they do it with Windows Remote Desktop?
They just do that from desktop to desktop. But the thing that is interesting is they haven't assessed their system in the last 10 years to figure out what they could actually have on the cloud and not have to RDP in.
Right.
And have it be automatically synced with everybody in their office. And so I kind of wonder if it's not worth asking the question, what could you change to the cloud to make this more elegant as opposed to just kludging on top of kludge on top of kludge? You know, it's up to you how you want to use it, but ultimately it was for my parents. I thought, you know, why don't you guys switch your whole office email over to Gmail and you can do something like that as opposed to having their RDP.
That's so weird that they're doing it that way.
I'm telling you, they don't even know. Then they're like, oh gosh, I can't print from there because it doesn't print remotely to this printer. And it ends up creating a lot more headaches than you would think, instead of just stopping at this point where you're hitting a roadblock anyways and thinking about using a little bit more elegant, modern solution. Did I vamp enough?
Yeah, no. So, I don't know. You know, I wasted it because I guess you get one shot without being annoyed, and I wasted it before the show doing it. But this does work. In fact, I was able to control this laptop. It's Splash Top Personal. They say it's for free, but you see there is a little bit of a come on.
But it was like $199 or something. It wasn't super expensive, right?
Yeah, and you can even choose, yeah, it's not super expensive. You could choose I was using the computer's native display, which is crazy. You probably don't want to use
It looked tiny on there.
Yeah, it was really tiny. I wonder how I can...
but it was sweet. I mean, given that it's a touch screen, it kind of makes more sense now, you know?
Access your computer from anywhere. I guess the first one's free, kid, and after that, not. TeamViewer does do a free version, period, of it. I'm a little disappointed that Splashtop doesn't.
Wow, this is two subpar answers today.
It says, well, that was okay, Leo. It says use Splashtop, there you go, personal for free on the local network to access your home computer. But maybe I'm just getting stuck somewhere behind an ad that I can't quite figure out, which is not unusual.
I can talk about peanut butter, online shopping, any other sort of things.
We try to get questions for you.
Oh, fine.
I thought you would be so good at that particular question. Have you ever bought, oh, by the way, before we go, if you'd like a mediocre answer to your computer question, here's how.
Need tech help? The new screensavers are here with answers. Email your tech questions to newscreensavers@twit.tv.
Have you ever, where'd my Warbies go? Oh, here they are. Have you ever ordered glasses by mail?
I have ordered some Warby Parkers.
You know about Warby Parker?
I do.
This is the home try-on kit. WarbyParker.com is a really clever idea. The #1 most innovative company, according to Fast Company, for the year 2015. They are truly incredible because, you know, and you probably saw the 60 Minutes about Luxottica. The little tiny, that's good. What are you going for there?
I don't know,
Femme fatale?
I don't know, this is sort of, there's something strange on here.
That's just a
me.
label,
Okay,
probably.
Just making sure it's not on me from that,
Yeah.
that elephant hood.
These are actually the ones I ended up getting, and I kind of like them.
Well, let me see.
Don't you think that's a good look for me?
Those are really
because
good
you
on
don't see, like it's very, anyway.
You look like yourself. You don't look like, you don't look different. You know how people look different when they wear glasses?
No, you look different. You look like weirdo.
Right.
But
this is a look, you know, this is an LA look
it's
now.
a very big look right now. The
all
big,
the
heavy,
media,
thick black glasses, the nerd glasses.
The media execs down in LA, they all wear these glasses.
Warby Parker was created by somebody who said, you know, the guys who monopolize glasses frames are really ripping people off because these are not that expensive. Right? They're not hundreds and hundreds of dollars for a designer frame, and then you order the lenses and you go broke paying for it. Those are artificially high prices. Warby Parker glasses start at, get ready, $95, including prescription lenses. Now, if you want progressives, and that's what I wear because it's like the trifocals, only they're smooth. They start at $295 because they're using this really cool digital freeform lens. This is the latest progressive technology, and it gives you not only a larger field of vision, you don't get those unsightly little lines, it makes you look like an old person. The design is a lot more precise than the traditional progressives. All glasses for $95 include anti-reflective and anti-glare coating, a hard case, a cleaning cloth, and perhaps you're wondering, how am I going to know whether the glasses are right for me? And this is where the home try-on.
That's genius.
Isn't that clever? You pick 5 frames that you think might look good on you. They'll send you the box, and then you can try them on. You can ask your friends and family, how do I look? Shall I put these on? What do you think I'm going to look like in these? These are kind of owlish.
Hello, Professor.
You know what you look like? You look a little bit like Nathan Lane.
Good. He's doing okay.
He is.
Yeah. They include this special box and a prepaid shipping label, so it's easy to return. You choose the frames you want. You give them your prescription details if you want. By the way, they don't have to be prescription. You can get sunglasses from Warby too. And for every pair of glasses you purchase, and you'll like this.
Oh yeah, that's good. I think I've got the data may touch on monkey.
You do? No, you look like you're a fashion designer.
I am a
You should have been,
fashion designer.
yeah. And for every pair of glasses you purchase, they'll send a pair to someone in need partnering with people like Vision Spring.
That's cool.
To do that.
That's
Isn't
such
that
a great
nice? I
thing.
really like that. This is the modern internet way to buy glasses. Get the free home try-on and free 3-day shipping when you go to Warby Parker, WARBYPARKER.com/NSS. That gives you the free 3-day shipping. I love Warby Parker, and we thank them for their support of the new screensavers. That's all I do now. Warby Parker, baby. That's it. It's all about the Warbies. Patrick Norton has got the latest on grilling advice. Patrick?
Patrick Norton here from Tech Thing. When I'm not playing around with technology or making technology programming, techthing.com is the place to go. I am usually grilling. No, it's not true. I like to grill. I like to grill often. And because I've grilled with a bunch of professionals who actually cook for a living, whenever I see somebody go, well, I'm going to hold it like this, and that's medium well, and that's well done, and that's a hockey puck, and that's medium rare, stop. Buy a thermometer. Go on to Amazon.com. Look for a Lava Tools thermometer. It's the best-selling thermometer on Amazon. It's $25. It's not as fast as like the $200 thermometer the super professional barbecue chefs use, but if you want to get your meat right, you want medium rare, there's a temperature for it depending on whether it's chicken or pork. Not that I really want chicken medium rare, but you get the idea. Use a thermometer. You'll get the correct level of doneness. You'll protect yourself from terrible foodborne afflictions if you do it right, and you'll get a beautiful medium rare steak if you like medium rare. If you like the hockey pucks, just leave it on there until it turns black and starts to fall apart when you hit it with the tongs. Hopefully that's helpful, and if it's not, I'm sorry. Go check out techthing.com. You'll find some really cool stuff there that might be more useful. Thanks.
I actually have the iGrill, which is really cool. You put the probe in the meat. You actually have 2 probes, one for the grill itself, because I use you're going to see, because you're coming over, right?
Yeah, yeah. Bring
So
kids.
I have one of those Japanese Komodo grills, the big ceramic thing. So there's there's heat inside the thing because you close the lid, and then there's heat in the meat. And then it comes out of a little hole in the thing, and it goes into the iGrill, and then you pair your iPhone to that or your Android phone, and then you can walk around, and the phone will go, hey, get in here, it's cooked.
That's
it's
genius.
Awesome.
I burn it every time.
You like steak?
Love.
We're going to have steak.
Excited.
It's good steak.
Ooh.
I'll tell you how good it is. The butcher said, hey, lady, you know how much this is going to cost you? And Lisa said, yeah. He said, okay, just checking.
Wow.
It's got to be real good.
Okay. This is exciting. You have no idea. We have a lot of chicken in my house.
We have chicken, too, if you want.
No.
No chicken?
I want the expensive steak.
You know, remember at the end of the screensavers, it probably was your invention. Sometimes the show would be long, sometimes it would be short. You have to have filler at the end, like a pad that could be long or short to fill it. Because network television's got to be 44 minutes exactly.
Exactly. Hard out, hard out.
Hard out. Yes, and I was never very good at that. She'd be yelling, we're done, you're done, stop talking. But what did we do? We filled it with a mailbag segment, right? Well, this is a
Yes, there's.
This is a podcast, so frankly, we can go as long as we want.
Yeah.
But still, we thought it'd be great to have a mailbag segment. So roll.
Oh, okay. It's very analog. There it is. There it is.
I don't know why we call it the mailbag. It should be the mailbox.
The mailbox, the attack of the mailbox.
Here, you take one, I'll take one.
Okay. All right.
And you may start because ladies first.
Oh, sure. This is Michael from Kentucky. I'd like to know about junk mail and Gmail. I get over 1,000 junk emails a day in my folder. I'd like to know if it's better to just delete the contents of the folder each day, or should I go email to email and try to get off the mailing list or unsubscribe?
What do you do about junk mail?
Unroll me.
Oh, now that's great for mailing lists.
Yes.
Yeah.
That one, so you go to Unroll Me and it
Unroll.me, I think.
I think you're right, yeah.
Yeah.
And it combs through all of your email. You give it permission to go into your inbox. It combs through and does sort of a bulk unsubscribe.
Right.
Now, if you're a Yahoo user, Yahoo has that as well.
Oh, nice.
They have an unfollow me.
Oh, that's great.
If you look on the left side of your tabs there in your folders, there's an unfollow me. So every time you see an email from a vendor that you don't want to get their emails anymore, or someone who spams you, just drag it into the unfollow me, and then they'll do the work for you.
Yeah, I notice these days there's really 3 categories of email. Email you want, obvious junk mail, and if that's what you're talking about, Michael, because Gmail does a great job about getting rid of that. It goes into the junk folder. You could just, there's a setting, I think the default is every 30 days If it's 30 days old, they throw it out. That's to give you time to look in case your mom got in the junk mail. I would go with this default settings on that one. But then the third kind is really kind of troubling, and that's those mailing lists. You probably did say, yeah, send me information when you signed up for something. You checked that box or forgot to uncheck it. That's not technically spam.
Bacon.
But it's bacon.
Yeah.
That's what they call it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's not the good stuff. It's the meh.
It's just, it fills your inbox with stuff you don't really want. So enroll.me, I like that.
Yeah, that one's a good one.
Is that free?
It is free.
I don't know how they do that.
I know, right? I've used that. But I think, you know, I'm amazed at how few people now still have one. I mean, how many people still have one email address that they use for everything, including. But really, like when you go buy something, you buy it with your main?
Yeah.
Aren't you just under siege?
Well, I've always been, I've had the same email address for 15, 20 years. So at this point, it doesn't really matter what I do. I'm going to get a lot of email. You know, Symantec just published its yearly report. They say that email has dropped by about, spam email has dropped by about 50% this year.
Interesting.
So something's working. Spammers may be realizing it's not a very effective way to market or something. And Gmail is so good because it uses a collaborative filter. So when you mark something spam, and if it sees enough people saying it's spam, it goes, oh, it must be spam. And so that's why it does such a good job, I think.
You know, one stat I saw recently that I thought was really interesting is, you know those codes, those promo codes that you get, you know, you buy something from the Gap and then you say, yeah, I'll take your email, you know, send them to me because you're hoping that they'll send you a discount, right? Well, those discount codes in email have gone down 45% in the last year.
The value?
No, they just don't send them anymore.
They don't send them?
They don't send them because we're spending. Why do they need to get us to spend, to go to their site and give us a discount when we're already
These fools are
opening
spending money anyway. What the heck? Why send them more?
Yeah, so there you go. I'd say unroll me.
Unroll
Get
me.
it unrolled.
Get it out.
That's right.
Ben sent an email. Is there any way I can get an MP3 of the new Screensavers theme so I can have it as a ringtone? Love the show. Thanks for the broadcasts. We have put a number of themes on our wiki.twit.tv. Look under the new Screensavers shows. The theme is there. I'm going to put up a theme page as well because there are a lot of pages. Do you remember, I mean, a lot of theme songs. Do you remember this?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Doing the
That's
twit.
the old Doing
That's
the Twit
old
disco.
Doing the twit.
The disco theme.
There was
so
always
I have
something
a
about
bunch
that
of
with
these.
Dvorak that seemed really, didn't mesh well.
He is the Twit.
I know.
He's going to be on Twit next week.
Aw.
It's been a long time.
I know.
Makes me want to dance. Anyway, we'll put these all up.
That was you in your techno phase.
Yeah, I was really into EDM. I used to go around with glow sticks and
I sensed that. I think I saw you at
pacifier.
Burning Man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to wiki.twit.tv, I'm going to make a new page for themes.
Ooh.
And I'll put all of this old stuff up there.
I like that. I think I like the old twit, doing the twit the best.
I love that.
I know.
This is from the old Lab with Leo.
Do you... Oh, I like that one.
You heard this one ever? I don't think so.
You know the funny thing about the call for help theme? Did I ever tell you this story?
No.
That we were, you know, we'd ordered them and had them made.
Yeah. What was the company that did that? They had a funny name like Funny Hat.
Oh, that was hat. The hat.
Hat. There was a hat.
Something
in it.
hat.
Something hat. There was in the hat. There was
Crazy
a
hat.
They were
funny
out of Boston. They were a hat.
Right.
If you know who they are, tell
Let
me.
us know. So we got a bunch of the themes and we decided on the one we liked, that one that you just played.
Yeah, yeah.
And we played it in a rehearsal and I didn't like the way it started. And I went to our executive producer, Greg Drebin, and I said, I don't like the start of this and I want them to go back and do a more gentle open because what happens is it's upcut. It starts
It sounds like it's upcut.
In full...
It just starts with da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
And it just starts like that. It doesn't have an intro or anything that fades in.
Because Mr. Drebin was a smart man.
It was one of the best lessons I ever learned in TV. He said, you mean it's abrupt and jarring? And I said, yes, it's abrupt and jarring. And he said, does it get your attention?
Does the light start to come on?
Like, okay, we're keeping it. I said, are you sure you're just not too cheap to go get it reworked? And he's like, no, that's how we want it.
Yeah, it does. If you listen, here's the start. Very abrupt and jarring, don't you find? Right. Wait, that's not the beginning. Here we go.
It's the end. Yeah. That was it.
Yeah.
So it was one of those little moments in TV where I thought.
And who's the voices in here? I hope these people can help me.
They were from the Hat Place.
They're from the Hat.
They were the Hat Place.
My voice is in there because I go, here we go. By the way, that makes no sense.
It's sent to IP6.
It says the universal config port should be set to ID6. It kind of bugged me because that makes no sense at all. If that's the advice we're giving, we're in deep, deep trouble. You know what? I don't understand this because you started Call for Help in 1998. Yep. Which is 17 years ago.
I know.
I look 17 years older.
Oh, stop.
You look exactly the same. I don't know how you do. No, come on. I'm not kidding. This is not blowing smoke. No. You are exactly the same as I remember you. Since then, you got a doctorate in educational technology.
Master's. I wish it was a doctorate. Oh, man.
Good.
I wish.
Dr. Worley. A master's in educational technology at Stanford. You're now a regular on Good Morning America. You're a
correspondent.
reporter,
Watch that.
You work at Yahoo doing
for
stuff.
Yahoo Tech sometimes
Yahoo
with David
Tech.
Pogue.
Yep,
Yeah.
with Mr. P.
Yeah.
You're amazing, and you're a mother, and I don't know how you do it all.
You know what? I have the good life, though. I really am
do you
super
like it?
lucky.
You're not working overworking?
I am the luckiest girl you have ever met.
I say that too.
I know.
I say, this Becky, she's the luckiest girl. No. I say it too. We're lucky that we get to do what we do.
No, and I think that, doing it differently, that's what I like about the way you do this, is you do it your way. And I'm that way too. I don't live in New York. I don't do that thing.
You're the first person I ever saw on network television Skype in from your kitchen. And I was stunned that Good Morning America would even allow that.
Yeah, we were going through a penny pinching phase.
But you know what? It
worked.
And it looks good, and now you're doing an iPhone to record, and I mean, it's amazing.
Well, one of the things I will say is that I love production, and if I had to say one thing, I think I like production even more than I like tech. And so, I've become more of a consumer reporter than a technology reporter, but what I love is the making it. And the way that production is changing all the time, and you can futz with it, and technology is just the tool for that, so it's so cool. Yeah.
Becky Worley, thank you for being
here. My gosh, so fun to be with you guys, and the new Screensavers is awesome.
Thank you. It's so nice to see you again, and so nice to see all of you. We do the new Screensavers every Saturday after the radio show, about 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 2200 UTC. If you'd stop by and watch live, we'd be mighty grateful to you. We have seats if you want to come to Petaluma, beautiful downtown Petaluma. Just email tickets@twit.tv. We'll make sure there's a seat waiting for you. And of course, you can always watch it after the fact. On-demand audio and video of all of our shows is at the website, That's twit.tv, twit.tv/NSS for the new Screensavers, or youtube.com/the new Screensavers. We don't know. Yeah, sure.
Karsten says, yeah, sure.
Whatever. It's just okay.
Yeah.
It's not a great show. It's just an okay show.
This was the best show of subpar answers I've ever been on.
And you can always get us each and every week on your favorite podcatcher. We're on Stitcher, we're on Spotify, wherever you look. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.